One, two, three, testing, testing, testing. One, two, three, testing, testing, testing. Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good afternoon, Renato. How's it going?
Hello, teacher. Good afternoon. I'm pretty good. Thanks very much. And what about you, teacher?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you very much for asking. How was your weekend?
It was very good, teacher. Always like it to take advantage that I don't have to work and I can spend time with my family
That
and
sounds
cooking a little. I like, yes,
that sounds
I
great.
this last weekend I cook a little. I invent something in the kitchen.
That sounds terrific, and I'm happy to know that you had the opportunity to spend some time with your family, which is great. I think that it fools you, this kind of events or this kind of situations in life may give you the energy you need in order for you to perform your activities at work or during the week. And I think it's great to have this kind of situation. I also spent some time with my family during the weekend. Even though I've been through a difficult situation right now with the situation of the COVID-19, but I think that everything is going back to normal, right? On my end, I think. And besides that, even though that I needed to work in a lot of things and a lot of tasks at Nicalingue, so I decided just to take some time off before I go any further with the activities. But we're back. We're back, and in today's event, we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence. So you and Isaac, you are gonna guys explain us a little bit more about this. So Isaac is calling in. Isaac, are you there? Can you listen? Can you listen to me? Isaac? Okay, here we go. All right, Isaac, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I hear you.
All right, loud and clear then. Renato, you still there, right?
I'm sorry.
Renato, you still there, right?
Yes.
Alrighty, so we're about to start, guys. We're about to start, and let me go ahead and share with you a couple of questions I have for you. You know that we have been talking about artificial intelligence. We have been talking about that some works, some jobs are at a high risk of being replaced by artificial intelligence. We have been talking about automation. We have been talking about your advices for those people who are at the risk of losing their jobs. So, what would you start, or how would you start your today's presentation? Whoever wants to start, it's more than welcome to participate, and so microphones are open. So, who would like to start? Either Renato or Isaac.
Teacher.
I don't
Yeah.
know. For me, it doesn't matter. For me,
All
it
right.
doesn't matter.
So go ahead, Isaac or Renato.
Renato Star.
Okay,
Okay, thank
Renato,
you
you
very
can.
much, Isaac. No, that's me talk about my presentation, and that's I think that we are here people from Nicaragua and the other country, but we are from Nicaragua, and that's me tell you that in Nicaragua, everybody know that you are the second poorest country in Latin America, and however, in my experience, uh, we are using, um, you are starting using artificial international in our country. It's believe it or not, because people that I talk about that, they don't me they say me, Renato, are you sure that in Nicaragua are you using artificial international? Yes, we do, because it's no problem, because you are the poorest country. And the point is that it's important to our country have a lot of company that have a possibility to invest in that. Artificial international is not so expensive as we think about that. And because you can buy the component in internet, in eBay, in another pages that you can find that in a with less money than before. And but from my point of view, I agree that artificial international, I'm sorry, artificial
Artificial
intelligence,
intelligence.
and the machine learners will dominate, and is dominating, and in the future will dominating several kind of jobs. And why? The truth is that this kind of machine learning, currently they are capable to make it more complex tasks than before. I remember a few years ago, machine learning and automation intelligence was using just for example, answer mails, and the
Hmm.
answer question,
Hmm.
and the simple question. For example, when you make a test, send a test, the artificial intelligence just answer the question, for example, and to send the mail, and I don't know, was very easy task. In this moment, not just another country, in our country, Nicaragua, it's capable to make it very hard tasks, the difficult tasks, as for example, to detect the fraud, detect the internet, in detect the bots in the pages, for example, and detect the, I don't know, a lot of kind of errors in data centrals. And it's very important because we believe, for me, I think that it was a belief of everybody that machine learning is to a rich country, but it's not
Hmm.
true.
So,
And I'm sorry.
so no, well, yes, I was about to ask you a question. It's regarding to artificial intelligence, obviously, in regards to what you're saying. Obviously, you're saying that here in Nicaragua, even though we are one of the poorest country in the world, right? You're saying that there are some kind of jobs where people are using artificial intelligence. And can you give me what kind of jobs are those, or can you give me some examples, or what companies? Maybe if you don't want to mention their name, that's okay, no problem about that. But if you can just let us know on what way artificial intelligence is being used in this country, Nicaragua.
Yes, that's right. For example, we have a business relationship with the company that they they receive information from a lot of a lot of the networks. And these networks in several times send them fake fake traffic, and they can analyze the traffic, and they can configure the machine learning to accept or to not accept the traffic. And
Mm-hmm.
before this kind of traffic was accepted, the design was taken by a human. And now, few years now, and this decision are taken by by machine learning.
Hmm.
And this case, this is one case. Another case is about some company that have a electronic commercial, electronic business electronic, and
Electronical business, you say?
yes,
Okay.
electronic business, and this company are so they are in risk because in the web there is a lot of teeth, electronic teeth,
Hmm.
and they are always trying to stole you, or trying to get your information, to send your information to another company.
Hmm.
And in this case, this company are using artificial intelligence to detect these risks. And anywhere, I know that this is increasing. You are in our country, you are in a in a time that it's improving the knowledge. There is a lot of person studying abroad and they studying online with the COVID-19. It's opportunity to study online and to get more information about this kind of thing, this kind of trends that you know that it's a reality, and you need to be prepared to this condition, no, to this new behavior.
Hmm.
And but I think that there is some jobs that will never be replaced by a machine learning, because for example, when you have to create a marketing strategy, when you have to use the data that we receiving from this machine learning, you use it to create a strategy, to create uh, yes, a strategy to increase the company growth. And
Hmm.
it's very important that a human, the human is that to need to take a decision about what the company have, what's the strategy to the company, what's the company wants to go, what is the budget the company, how can I use the budget, and how to low cost, for example. And this decision is always I think that's decision will always make by a human. It's not possible. Yes, the human always will help it by a machine learning. It's very
Hmm.
important because that's really machine learning always will be more effective than a human to process data. And
Hmm.
it's something that we agree with. No.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think the same thing. I think that there are some kind of jobs that are at risk due to automation.
That's right.
However, something that you have been mentioning previously is that there are no jobs that cannot be performed for a machine when it comes to the others ideas you can get from those data analysis that machines perform on data, right? So this
That's
must
right.
be by a human, right? Or this needs to be used by humans so they can take better decision for in the case of businesses, we're talking about business growth, right? That's the important thing. And we would like to hear Isaac. Isaac, we have been talking about this um, artificial intelligence and
Yes.
how this is good or this is bad for some people, right? I understand. I don't know if you have heard about this, but I understand that Microsoft, for example, wants to replace some jobs, especially journalists, right? And you are a journalist, and or you are starting to become one, right? And the thing is that Microsoft is using technology to replace journalists' job. So these data or these machines are creating the new news, right? So they stop using journalists. So how would you react to that, or what do you think about all this topic of artificial intelligence?
So Teacher, first, thank you for being here, and thank you for explaining me the question and all that. So it's a pleasure. Yes, the um. Oh, come on. Okay, Microsoft is replacing some journalists because I think with the machines they don't pay a lot of money with the payment of some journalists. But with the machines, this is an advantage of them. But with the machines, they only pay for the machine and that's all. But but I think that the job that the tax that make a human being that is better than a machine because some machines has some mistakes when you write when some mistake when write or when they explain something. For example, this is very interesting because when you write in your cell phone, you have one. What is the name? You have one.
Application app.
mm, Yes, you have one application, and
Hmm.
I don't know if that machine has an application to don't commit that mistakes. Um, and that is a risk. That is a risk because not only the journals, also the editors, the commentaries, the people that is looking for the new, they are gonna be fired. Not only the journalists.
Hmm.
So, for example, that is dangerous, and the economy of some people it will be low. Yes,
Okay. Now, let me
and
ask
that is
you,
bad.
are you having second thoughts? Because, you know, big corporations, big corporations like Microsoft, they just want to replace humans instead of
Yes,
machines, right? Okay, now, and especially they are starting with journalists. Why? Okay, I think their reasons, they might have their reasons, right? Now that you are studying to become a journalist, are you afraid that in the future you won't have a place where to work at? Because since Microsoft is implementing these ideas of replacing human instead of machine instead of humans, so at the end you're studying 5 years in order for you to realize that you don't have any kind of work. How do you feel about that?
sure. Okay, that is a very good question. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because the technology is not like, oh, today we made a machine and tomorrow we we sell that machine. No, it's time. For example, in 30 years we will have these machines. Um I'm not afraid in reality. I think that is my favorite career. I dream that I become will become a journalist. So I'm not afraid.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. Renato, and what do you think? Do you believe that your job is at a higher risk of automation, and why?
Uh, no, my opinion is that my job is no risky, and from my point of view, I think that I needed to study more. No, I needed to learn more about my job, about where my job is going, because my job is to analyze data, is to take a decision, is to know about new technology and implementing new technology and looking for new technology and. Take a decision about if it's profitable to invest in them or not. And I think this kind of decision is always being a human. But see, uh, I can be replaced another person more updating than me, more no that know more about artificial intelligence and the other person, other professional that are learning more about this technology than me. But the machine learning or artificial international will never uh, replace a human that's that really are interesting to learn about artificial intelligence and how to building how to set up artificial intelligence platform in this case. But teacher, that you always have to be prepared because uh, that's very important in whatever. If you are a journalist, whatever, if you are electronic engineers, or whatever, if you are a commercial or seller, you needed to be prepared because artificial international it's a trend. It's coming in all areas, and it's very important to be prepared of that.
Alrighty. Thank you very much for you guys both for your participation, right? I do have one more question, and maybe you can provide your ideas about this, right? And my question has to do with advices. If people are losing jobs because of artificial intelligence is taking place at their workplace, my question has to do, what kind of advice would you give to those people? What kind of advice would you say, look, this is one of the things that you need to do in order for you to face the current situation, the current trend? Because right now, big corporations are using this, but eventually, small businesses or enterprises will start doing it because they will realize that it's more efficient, effective, rather than a human taking care of all data in weeks, right? And have the analysis for weeks. But when you apply machine learning into this kind of data, so they can actually give you a resume in a couple of seconds. So, what kind of advice would you give to those people experiencing job loss because of automation or because of artificial intelligence?
And
Okay, teacher.
sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
No, no problem. So you can talk.
Okay, no, in my opinion, teacher, and my main advice is to be prepared and study a lot. To be, I don't know if you are a journalist, you have to understand that some kind of task will be replaced by a machine learning. If you are a electronic engineer, some task will be replaced machine learning. But but if you are prepared, if you are studying, if you are investigating about it, and about because in another country, in the first world countries, and they are advanced, and they are using now artificial intelligence more than us. And it's possible if you first. I think that you have to, if you don't speak English, you needed to do it at Nicalingue as as soon as possible. But because all information is in English, and I don't know, in English and the China, because they are the two most country that they are advanced in artificial international intelligence. I'm sorry, and that's my advice. That's my main advice. You'll be prepared, studying, and and investigate about the artificial intelligence are using in your career, in your area.
Okay, good. And Isaac, you know, a teacher, what would you say to? We have a person in our radio today, which is Anki. Anki, are you there? Can you hear me, Anki? It's my pleasure. It's my honor having you today. We are in Radio Nicalingue where we're talking about artificial intelligence. Isaac and Renato have been explaining that Microsoft, for example, wants to replace journalists with artificial intelligence. And one of the questions that we are in the poll is, what is your advice, or what jobs do you think are in in automation, or if your job is in automation? If you have headphones, if you have your microphone, you can jump in and we'll be more than happy to hear you, right? So going back to you, Isaac, we would like to know, today is Teachers Day, right? Today is Teachers Day in Nicaragua.
Yes.
And
Oh,
yeah, and
congratulations, teacher. I'm
Thank you, teacher.
sorry.
that's okay, guys, that's
Congratulations,
okay.
congratulations,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
congratulations.
But my question is, do you think that artificial intelligence will replace teachers in the future? Especially English teacher or Spanish teacher or math teachers or whatever kind of teachers, right? Do you think that teachers are at a high risk of losing their jobs because of artificial intelligence?
Okay. Uh, in my opinion, teacher, I think that it's better a teacher is better a teacher than a, a machine that is talking what are you wanting to do. For example, currently we have a situation, all the some university have canceled their classes. Um, um, they are giving the class online, excuse me, online. Um, but a lot of people prefer is preferring the presential classes because there is some um, I don't understand some point of some lessons. Um, uh, it's not like a teacher is explaining you what are you going to do. Um, this is bad or it's a mistake that you commit. So in my opinion, I prefer a teacher, a presential teacher, or
Hmm.
a line what when we make when we like we make.
Guys, we have
Mm,
I'm sorry, Isa. I'm sorry for interrupting.
yes,
I just
no.
want to introduce to you Anki. Anki, maybe you can introduce yourself, where you're from, and maybe you can also give us your comment about today's topic, which is artificial intelligence. In our topic, we have Microsoft wants to replace some jobs with artificial intelligence, and the thing is that there are some journalists being affected because of artificial intelligence, and their job has been affected. That nowadays they don't write their own news. It's just a machine. So maybe Anki, you can introduce yourself and maybe you can share your opinion about
Yeah,
it.
sure. Yeah, hi. I'm Ankita from India. I'm from Delhi.
Wow, great, perfect.
Well,
Yeah, and
thank
actually, I'm not in
Nice.
a favor uh, with this automation because it will replace the job. Like, hello, am I
No,
audible?
no,
Hello,
no, no,
hello.
no. I'm listening to you. I'm listening. The thing is that
Okay.
we have a rule that if there is so much, too much noise, or too much background, we just mute our mics. So if you hear
Okay,
noise,
okay, no problem.
thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not in a favor of automation because it will replace manpower, and as you have taken the example for teachers, right? So I believe in classroom training just because with expressions and reactions will able to explain what we want to say by verbal communication, but by automation there will not the connection between there will be not a connection between the teacher and the student, and the student will not be able to understand the teacher what she or he wants to explain, or the connection and the bond
Yes.
and the sense of responsibility that the student need to understand the sense of responsibility, that
Mm-hmm.
if the teacher is explaining something, if the teacher is saying something, we have to respect our teacher. So the
Mm-hmm.
value between the student and the teacher will not be there if the
Mm-hmm.
automation will be there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about this, Anki.
Yeah.
There are some teachers, because I know some teachers that they prefer to work in advance and have an hologram, right, in the future
Mm-hmm.
to teach students instead of them. So at the end, this is kind of artificial intelligence that it might be putting at risk as well their jobs, right? But what you're saying, it is true. Nowadays, because of the situation that we are facing worldwide, most teachers or more institutions are changing the way that they are teaching, right? Which is through online classes. And what you're saying is true. Sometimes students they just need to feel, like listen in a real class rather than being online. But I think is at the same time it's gonna be like a process where
Yeah.
everybody is going to get used to it, and at the end it's gonna be something like, all right, let's do it this way because there's not any other way. For example, in India, right? In India, how does it work right now due to the situation?
Yeah, I'll tell you. The lockdown was for 3 to 4 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the situation is like students are not going to their school, so situation is like that they are taking classes, online classes from the teachers, the school
Mm-hmm.
teachers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not a recorded one; it's a live class,
Mm-hmm.
so they take class for 2 to 3 to 4 hours, and that's it. So
sim.
there is a connection that they know that I know this teacher, she is explaining something, I
Yep.
have to listen her. Like, I'll give you an example. I am working with the MNC, right? I'm working with the Direct Line Group, which is a insurance brand. It's in UK,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what I observed that we were taking some online trainings and we were not interested in that training
It's
because
true.
I yeah, because they just told us that you have to like give 9 hours to that this company, and you have to take this online training, you have to complete this module, that module. But at by while doing that module, like I was just sleeping. I was not attentive at all because
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Yes.
yeah, it happens. So it happened with me. So I'm not in a favor of automation. I have prepared PPT regarding this as well. I have a PPT as well for the automation and everything, because I know the fact, we know the fact that it will replace the job. It will replace, like it will replace the manpower. Will not be able to work as we used to work before,
Yeah.
right? The situation will not be same.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think that your job is at a higher risk of automation?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Are you a teacher or?
Actually, I'm not a teacher. I'm working. I'm into insurance process. So I'm into invoice payable. We
I
generate invoices and we
Invoices.
pay
Oh, okay.
invoices.
All right. All right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. 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 Yeah. Now I understand your
I'm
point.
from the insurance company.
I understand your point now. Look, me
Yeah.
personally, um, I've been trying to automate a system, right, where actually when a new person just come to my business, they will have the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to send like all right, send me a quote, for example, right? And the quote will be sent
Mm-hmm.
automatically without me interfering in the process. And I know what you mean. I know what you mean because if that happens just for with a quotation, it also will happen with um, with sales or with billings or invoice or all these kind of jobs. Uh,
Yeah, because if there is a handwritten invoices, we cannot deal automation like the robots cannot deal with that. They need to check each and everything regarding that invoice and everything. So
yeah.
it's really difficult.
Yeah. Guys, Isaac, Renato, she is from India. I don't know if you want to ask her questions when it comes to the topic, obviously, right? Yeah, or something else that you want to share with her.
Anki.
Hi,
So,
Renato.
my name is Isaac.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sure, no problem. Um, are replacing some jobs by machines, or they are currently working. They are currently
Mm-hmm.
working only people.
Okay.
Come again, Isaac. What was your question? I'm sorry. Some people
Okay,
replace
my question is, if currently um, mm, the okay, if they have replaced some 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 job of humans by machines.
in India.
Yes, yes, in India.
Well, I think that his question, Aki, has to do with do you know if there has been any kind of friends or family member, relatives, somebody, something like that, that has been replaced by machines? I think that's your question, right, Isaac, or not?
Yes, 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 yes. That is my question.
Okay.
That is my question.
If you
Yeah,
know,
it happened in India.
hmm
In some of the MNCs, some multinational companies, it happened, and my two cousins got laid off just because that they just because of automation,
hmm
right? So that happened with my relatives as well,
hmm
and it happened in India.
yeah. Yeah, in India, I have been talking, or yeah, I have been talking with different kind of sectors in from India. I have been talking with people that teaches Spanish. I have been talking with people that teaches technology, how to use Google Docs or how to use Google spreadsheets. And India has this kind of knowledge or this kind of also target in mind to automate everything. Every single thing that I see from India, it's pretty much automated. And I think that most job over there, if you don't study, if you don't, go to college and learn about this, it's gonna be a little bit difficult for you to adapt to new trends
Yeah.
in life, right? Excuse me about that. Yeah, just for you to know, Anki, we are in Nicaragua, Central America. And yeah, in
Okay.
Nicaragua, we also have a lot of background noise.
Oh,
But that's okay.
okay. No problem.
Um, Alrighty. So, Renato, if there is something else that you want to add,
I think that it's very important to mention that it's happened. Artificial international it's happened, and we have a lot of areas that students uh, it's possible that a student learn by himself watching videos, for example areas like design and the programmation. There is some kind of programmation that you can learn by yourself. There is some abilities and the skills that you can learn by yourself, studying alone or studying with machine learning. And this kind of I think that this will continue grow up in, and each time more people will learn by machine learning, and the role of the teacher will continue using to help those peoples that cannot learn with machines. And because in my case, in my experience, for example, I'm learning a lot about the Excel
Mm-hmm.
with the tutorial with the YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
for example.
Mm-hmm.
And but in my case, I think that English it's not possible to just learn with a machine. In my
Mm-hmm.
case, I think that there is a lot of person that a lot of student that can learn with a machine. In
Mm-hmm.
my case, it's depend of the person, or depend of the area that you are studying or you are trying to learn about.
Yeah. I truly believe when it comes to that, I truly believe that students are able to learn everything nowadays from YouTube. If you want to learn how to play piano, guitar, if you want to learn a new
It's
language, yeah,
amazing,
yeah, you
yeah.
can learn it from YouTube, no doubt about it. But there is one crucial thing that it maybe is missing from that part, and is, for example, this kind of interaction, the kind of interaction that we
That's
are
right.
right now
That's right.
having.
It's
It's
very
not
important.
possible for you to do it right now on a YouTube video, right? I don't know what is gonna happen in the future, but one thing that we need to be aware is that the world is changing. It's changing so fast that we need to adapt as well as or as fast as possible as the world it is changing, right? And that's the only thing that we need to do. We need to be aware of how the world or how technology is changing, and at the same time, we need to be always on top of what we do whatever thing we do. If we are digital, if we are marketing agents, if we are from the invoice department, or if we are teachers, or if we are journalists, we need to be on top of what we do the best. We need to be you know we need to specialize in one single thing, so at the end we cannot compete against machines, because if you just take a look at what is learning data, it's pretty much a group of data that is being analyzed by a machine. That at the end, if you are just out of that range of analyzing, so you're gonna be like unique in that area, so you cannot be compared with a machine. That's the thing that's my idea on when it comes to that. We need to be aware of the world is changing so fast, and obviously we need to be prepared for that, right? So Anki, I don't know if you want to add something else before we leave.
Not related to this topic. Actually, it's my first day on this app, right? And it's been 1 hour on this app, and I'm feeling so good and positive while
Great.
interacting with new people
Sounds
around the
great.
world. So it's really good. And I got a chance to express my views regarding anything. So
That's
it's
right.
really good. Thank
All
you so much for that.
Thank you, Anki. Thank you very much for your time. Right now, I think it's like very early in the morning, right? In India,
It's 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
So
Okay.
it's not in the
Whoa.
morning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Oh,
Anki, the only thing that I want to share with you is that this app is wonderful. Yes, you can connect with different kind of people around the world. Our main idea here at this podcast is that we talk at least once a week. So if you
Mhm,
are interested in participating in future events when it comes to speaking and developing your ideas, you are more
mhm,
than welcome to participate. We try to do it every Monday and or every Thursday. That's gonna be depending on the schedule, because as you may know, everybody
mhm.
here works, so that's gonna be depending on their schedule. But anyway,
Yeah, right.
one more time, guys. Thank you so much for your time. It was my pleasure having you three here today, and I hopefully we can talk in the future. Right? See you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you so much.
see
Take
you,
it
bye. See
easy.
you, teacher.
Bye
See
bye.
you. See
See you.
Bye
you.
bye. See you.
Bye bye.